So why are meetings like so boring? Like, why am I even here at this meeting? I don't know what we're talking about. I don't feel like I added anything. I think we experience this, hopefully not too much, but I think many of us have experienced this. And so then on the other side, you'd hear, well, let's just get rid of meetings. Meetings are dumb. Why don't we get together? So let's take that approach. So let's imagine now that instead of having meetings, you would just have your leader decide what you should do, right? How is that going to work out? I mean, the purpose of meetings is actually getting individuals together to share perspectives to understand how to move forward. And so I don't know of ways other than having somehow getting people together to meet, whatever you call it, that needs to be occurring. And so, but I think the problem is that the way many of us run meetings is actually not meeting. We're not like getting together. It tends to be an individual who has an agenda. They're going through the agenda. They're presenting things. You're hearing it, maybe responding in the moment, but the decisions have already been made. Meetings improve as we try to figure out how do we kind of flex, how do we get some more information? How do we share more perspectives from within the room? There was this, actually it was Brian Eno had talked about this concept of genius versus senius. And so each of us, as you're sitting in a room, has our own individual genius. But it says, like us, as we come together, it's our ability to work together, all the wisdom and the intelligence of the room coming together that produces this kind of special form of genius that's together called senius. And so how do we create meetings? How do we create situations where we're able to get people together and actually have them share different perspectives and create decisions that were better than if the leader was just there alone or if any of us were there alone kind of deciding? And so then that comes down to like how we're running meetings. And I can think of the video since COVID, where we're having these meetings and you're just staring at this monitor, and you really could be staring at a monitor and have nothing to say, like no input, and then the meeting is over. I'm not really a fan of those sorts of meetings. But then you can have meetings where actually the leader has a question that they're posing, and they're wanting your input. And so I think of, and this is something I use like in programs, like leadership development programs, that I think we can bring into meetings, which is, and I call it kind of 1-3 group. This is kind of the practice. And so first of all, you ask the question and you have individuals think about the question themselves for a moment before having to respond. What we often find in meetings is that people feel this pressure to respond. There's the extroverts that are like, blah, this is what I think. The introverts are like, I need a little bit of time, and then we move on. And so creating some space for people to think through actually this really difficult question that you're talking about in the moment, just a minute or 2 minutes, allow them to think through this. So that's the 1. And then the 3, you're on a video conference, separate people into breakout groups. Put them 3 people together and have them discuss this question. How would they approach it? What do they think? What are their perspectives? And so as you do this, you have this sharing of ideas. People no longer feel isolated. Like I'm talking to someone that actually I haven't seen in a little while. It's kind of nice to hear what they think. If we were just in a meeting, I wouldn't hear that. They wouldn't hear what I'm saying, and it starts to bring us together. And then finally, after you have these breakout groups, then you ask everyone, so what did you learn? Like what did you come up with? And you have these individual breakout groups report out, like what are their ideas? What are the perspectives that they had heard? And so now a meeting is not like a leader just presenting like behind a monitor what they think. It's now a group coming together around these really difficult things. And it's a space now of inclusion. It's a space where you feel like you've been heard, and it's a place where together you can look around blind spots. I guess, or you could just continue running meetings like by just, agenda and move on as if people's input doesn't matter.